Until everybody gets enlightened, that's a different case. But as long as we have negative emotions, what we are learning in a Goomba will be very much relevant. Another thing I feel a challenge in our time is the something like TikTok, and then something like PUBG. All this, I think we should really have to think how to deal with this in the future, because meditation is to calm your mind, and once you calm your mind, then you know how to deal with negative emotion arise. The TikTok is total opposite of meditation. Total opposite. Because now I live with children, and I've seen, because when you watch TikTok, they look for excitement. If there is not exciting, if the TikTok is not exciting in a first few seconds, they go to the next one. So they're constantly looking for some excitement, which is totally opposite of calm your mind. So if average children lives 3 to 5 hours a day, opposite of demeditating, what kind of life they will be? This is a big challenge, I feel, for the future. Because now the children are looking constantly some kind of excitement. So this we have to keep in mind, all the teachers and all of us, even now elder people, we are getting addicted to social media. So this is a big challenge thing. And then the games, I think we should really try to avoid children playing any kind of video games, because we're very addictive. I used to have one video game when I was young. That was a quite nice game. You are a fireman, people jumping from a burning building, and you have to save life. So that was a kind of nice game. But now everything is killing and shooting, And as long as there's no blood, they say it's safe. But still it's a shooting. If there's a blood, they say, nowadays they say, it's not for the children. But as long as they don't put the blood, they say, children can use. So there are a lot of negative things in the world these days. There are some games which maybe Matthew doesn't know. We have to go in the game and then grab somebody's car and beat the driver and then drive the car, and there's a game like that. So this is teaching all the negative thing. And maybe 10 years ago, there was a shooting in New Zealand in the mosque, Muslim temple. And the guy who shot, he acted exactly like in one of those games, I think GT5 game or something. So this is a big challenge, I think, future. We'll have to think about it, how to deal with these things. So these are the challenges. And then one of the Matthew's friend, very famous teacher, Kevin, he passed away. The TED Talk. I think all the teachers should watch that. It's still the TED Talk. It's Kevin something. And one thing interesting he said is, if you really think these days in the schools, instead of we are educating the children, we are de-educating the children. So those things are very wise kind of advice. One thing I've seen, because when my son sort of grew up, he'd never used the word I. He always addressed to himself as a baby, or we used to call him Papa. He used to, Papa want to go, Papa want to eat. Since I start sending him to school, then he start using I. So you see, we are teaching them I. And from Dharma point of view, I is the cause of all the negative emotions, because of the I. You see? So sometimes we're sort of de-educating the children. So these things we have to think how to really, because now they are like the future. So children really learn from the book also, but example of the teachers. They learn from that also. So those things I think, I'm sure you already know, but I just felt like sharing with you. Another thing in front of a scientist is, if I share, that's my understanding of science, non-scientist understanding of science. Like Metula, when he went to West, did a lot of experiment with the scientists. So I went also like maybe more than 20 years ago, not as a great meditator, but just kind of like trip to America for free. So I went with Matthew, and I did also join the participate, and that's the beginning of this mind and life. So I'm sure there are a lot of deep understanding and all that, but there's one thing what I really found is very useful for us to understand is that our brain has different functions. In the front side of the brain, I'm this amateur science talk, so I cannot use all the terminology. The brain part of the front part of the brain is more of recent memories. Back side of the brain is more of the past memories. If you ask somebody, what were you doing like 10 years ago, something, the memory somehow, when you think, memory has to come from the back. They can see in the machine. If you ask, what did you do yesterday, or something like that, the memory is in the front side. And then the left side of the brain is more positive thinking, love, rejoice, kind of more active. Right side of the brain is more active when you're angry or agitated. And people in the war zone, their right side of the brain is more active. And this also makes sense because Buddha says we are supposed to sleep on the right side in order to overcome the negative emotions. So that's very much connected with science. So one thing what I'd like to share with you is that according to their research, is that we all have a kind of happiness or state of mind, kind of baseline, like the stock market, baseline. We all have. Some people has little bit high, some people have little bit low. I mean, among your friends, you will know, some people little bit cool. Even you go to a funky restaurant, he will say, oh, it's full. They always look at the positive side, glass half full. Some friends, even you go to a nice restaurant, you say, oh, something is wrong, something is no. Always look at negative, like glass half empty. So this is normal. Everybody have their own kind of baseline. So what happens is, this baseline is there, but there's ups and downs. The high up, when you win a lottery ticket, $1 million or something, and then the happiness shoots up. The baseline is like normal people's kind of happiness standard. The baseline shoot up. Within 6 months, it comes down to the baseline. The baseline is always there. Love at a first sight, when boy and girl fell in love, it shoots up. After 6 months comes down. After marriage, sometimes goes below. That is a scientific fact, not my making it. So this goes up, and then sometime if your immediate family dies or something bad happens, goes down. Within 6 months comes up. So the baseline is always there. So by using the meditation technique, like meditating on love and compassion, or 4 boundless love, meditating, the baseline goes up. The baseline goes up. And I think this is very interesting. And that's also not very long, like 3 months, 6 months meditation, not like that. Even they do like 3-4 weeks of meditation, focusing on generating love and compassion, then baseline goes up. So that is tangible. You can read in the book, science studies, and you can see in the machine. That's very helpful. And this, I think, why many Westerners, Europeans, educated people attract to Buddha Dharma is because the technique that we're using in Buddha Dharma, it's really like kind of teaches how to deal with your mind, how to become, the baseline goes up, you can become more happier. So this is what we need in this world, more calm. So I think even in America, they're doing serious research on that, based on his research and all that. He's very humble, he doesn't talk much about. But with this kind of research, I went to a state called Louisville in America, at the center. And then they're doing serious study. They have 2 schools, public school, mostly African Americans, because they are coming from the poor background. One school, they teach meditation twice a week. It's called, they don't want to call it religion, because religion is very dangerous to a secular school. So they use this Buddhist technique, they call it something compassion. They use this technique, bring all the mostly black kids. I didn't see even one white kid, so all black kids together. And then they teach them simple meditation, breathing meditation, breathing in and out. That also they use kind of toys. There's some toys you can just push like that, it becomes big. When you push, it becomes small. And then one kid sits there and then play with this toy. Then other kids, by looking at that, they start breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, very simple like that. Some kids, they lie down, they put a teddy bear on their belly, and they breathe out, look at the teddy bear, breathe in. Just simple meditation like that. Another thing is they they ask children about emotions. You know, what is anger? What makes you happy? What makes you angry? They say that many children, they don't recognize, they don't kind of differentiate between the different emotions. They feel some emotion, they start crying or they start agitating. The more they understand the emotions, then they will know how to deal with it. So when we visit this school, the school teacher was not Buddhist, also African American, who learned this technique, meditation technique, and she says, wow, it really helps me, you know. And not only the children, but children goes back and talk to the parents, and usually little bit like poor families, they always fight. The children always tell the parents not to fight. So not only the children, but it's helping the community. So there's serious study, which means that they have control school. One school they have this study, one school don't have. So after maybe 1 year or something, they were going to see which school becomes better. If they can prove that school with meditation can have a better study, better behavior, now they're going to implement that in the mainstream of American education system. And it is just this French monk here, you know, with his contribution. I feel Khyentse Rinpoche's blessing through him, it is spreading the word. Dharma not necessarily coming with the red robes and beating, you know, gongs and all those things. In many forms, in many ways, you can reach out to people. Main thing is to help beings. So therefore, I just share with you a little bit of this. I think here we are the main kind of thing. You understand? Yeah, so I think this is quite interesting, you know. And this is a very serious project in America. There's something like $60 million budget they have for that kind of curriculum. So actually, we are the source of this idea, you know. So I think in the future, if also teachers can learn a little bit about this technique and all that. And then Americans are very good at kind of making kind of system. We have the idea, but we don't have a system, isn't it? Lama sits on the throne, everybody sits there, then touch on the head, and then everybody's gone, you know. So we have the technique, we have the method, but we don't know how to really like put them into kind of a system where people can easily access. So this is, I just felt like sharing with you, and thank you very much today with you all. And I'd like to thank you very much for your good work. And we are really like helping so many future beings, future people, and we are big responsible, not only mentally development, but also good human being, like you say. And that is, I think, it's very important. So thank you very much.